Hi students, how are you all? I hope you are all fine and safe at home. Dear students, in the previous video lesson, we had discussed 100 dresses part 1. Now, in this video lesson, we are going to discuss the 100 dresses part 2 about the author. As you already know, the author, ELBSOR Esther, was an American children's author and a children's librarian. She won New Fry Medal for her book Ginger Pie. The story is based on her real life experiences. Theme of the story: it becomes rather difficult for a poor immigrant like Wanda Petronsky to adjust herself in an environment which is not very conducive to her. However, Wanda rises above all these petty considerations. She still loves her previous school and her classmates. She is generous enough to donate her 100 drawings to her classmates. She has no ill feelings towards Peggy, who used to tease her by putting embarrassing equations regarding her dresses. She allows Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress and Maddie the blue one. However, the damage has been done. In his letter to Miss Mason, Wanda's father clearly mentions how he is forced to move out of the place and get his children admitted to a new school. This message is very clear. Any kind of discrimination does torture those who suffer it silently. In continuation of the previous lesson, the 100 Dresses Part 2 reveals why Wanda Petronsky had not been coming to school. The Petronsky family decided to move to a big city where no one would care about their unfamiliar name. On hearing the note, Maddie and Peggy got anxious as they realized that they would never get a chance for making amends for all the teasing they had done. Both the girls get relieved only on learning that Wanda liked them and had dedicated 100 dresses or drawings to each one of them. Miss Mason received a note from the principal's office. She read it several times. She studied it thoughtfully. Then she read the letter to the class. Wanda's father clearly made it clear that both his children, Wanda and Jack, would not come to their previous school anymore. They would not be insulted for having their funny names anymore in the new big city as they faced it in their previous school. The letter had an immediate effect. A deep silence prevailed in the room. Miss Mason spoke in a low voice. Everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief note. Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to school anymore. Jack also. Now, we move away to a big city. No more holler Pollock. No more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronsky. She wished that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anybody for having a long and unfamiliar name. What was said in thoughtlessness. It was a very unfortunate and a sad thing that Wanda had to face such a situation. Maddie was highly disturbed. She could not put her mind on her lessons. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. She cursed herself for remaining silent when Peggy teased Wanda Petronsky. She stood silently and said nothing. It was as bad as what Peggy had done. She was nothing less than a coward. She put herself in Wanda's shoes. She decided to find Wanda. It was possible that She had not left Boggins Heights yet. Peggy had also the same idea. Both the girls planned to visit Vanda's house at Boggins Heights. She was wondering whether she could do anything. She wanted to express that she didn't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. She looked at Peggy, but Peggy did not pay any attention to her. She was studying hard. Maddie decided to do something. She wanted to find Wanda Petronsky. She wanted to go to Wanda's house and inform her that she won the contest. She wanted to convey that she was smart and her 100 dresses were beautiful. The two girls set out for Boggins Heights, the place where Wanda Petronsky used to live. Peggy felt that she never called Wanda a foreigner and made fun of her name. She thought that Wanda was too dumb. She praised her drawing skills. At last, they reached Wanda's house. It was a little house with a shabby but clean courtyard. They knocked firmly on the door but got no answer. The Petronskis had gone. Peggy said that if she had not asked Wanda about all her dresses, she would have no idea about her drawings. She might not have won the contest either. The two girls went quickly onto the top of the hill before it got dark. Maddie pointed at a little white house and said that that's where Wanda Petronsky lived. There was grass here and there around the house. There was a yard which was looking a bit ugly, but not so ugly. This reminded Maddie of Wanda's one dress and her faded blue cotton dress. She went very close to the door and knocked at the door, but there was no answer. Maddie thought about Wanda, blue dress, and the little house she had lived in. She reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up, even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship. She had no way of making things right with Wanda, but from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. Peggy and Maddie decided to write a letter to Wanda. They wrote how pretty her drawings were. They asked her if she liked her new place and her new teacher. They wanted to feel sorry, but they ended up with writing just a friendly letter. On the last day of school before Christmas holidays, Miss Mason received a letter. It was from Wanda Petronsky. She wished that the girls from room 13 could keep those 100 dresses. She had 100 dresses in her new house. She would like Peggy to have the drawings of the green dress and Maddie to have the blue one. She wrote that she missed the school. Her new teacher didn't equalize Miss Mason. As they were going home from school, they held their drawings very carefully. The things were beautifully decorated. Everything was very beautiful and colorful. The air smelled like Christmas, and light shining everywhere reflected different colors on the snow. Finally, Peggy understood that she liked them very much. This response from Wanda tells that Wanda had received the letter sent by these two girls. Wanda didn't have any ill feeling towards them. And finally, they realized that they were not going to see this girl once again. They regretted that they could never make things right between them. She pinned the drawing in her bedroom. The room, which looked shabby earlier, now looked brilliant and bright with that picture. She was just observing the picture. She felt that Wanda had been very nice to her. As she was observing the picture, tears blurred her eyes. She rubbed her eyes and looked with much more concentration. Finally, she realized that it was her own picture. Wanda drew this picture and gifted to Maddie. She was very excited and went to Peggy's house to tell her of the same. Wanda drew the picture of Peggy as well. Though they tried to bully her or make fun of her, she forgot everything and expressed her love and affection by drawing their pictures. Wanda was a very nice and innocent girl. She was not a kind of a girl who takes revenge or retaliation when someone humiliates or insults. Yeah, students, here we have a few difficult words and their meanings. Try to read them, learn them, and understand them. Now, let's recap the story once again. The teacher, Miss Mason, got a letter from Wanda Petronsky's father. Then, she read Wanda's father's letter to the class. He informed that his children, Wanda and Jake, would never come to their school again. Miss Mason spoke in a sad, low voice to the class. Perhaps what was said was very sad and unfortunate. True, Maddie didn't like Peggy putting embarrassing questions to Wanda Petronsky. Maddie felt guilty as she stood silent and never opposed Peggy when she was teasing Wanda. She wanted to tell Wanda that her 100 dresses were beautiful. Both the girls, Peggy and Wanda, set out for Boggins Heights, the place where Wanda used to live. They knocked on the door loudly, but got no answer. It was clear that Wanda Petronsky and her family had gone. Peggy told Maddie that when she was asking Wanda about her dresses, Wanda probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. Maddie made an important decision. Both Peggy and Maddie decided to write a letter to Wanda Petronsky. They asked Wanda if she liked her new place and the new teacher. They also wrote that their drawings were very beautiful and she won the girls' medal. They also wanted to feel sorry, but they ended up writing a friendly letter. On the last day of school before the holidays, Miss Mason informed the class that she received a letter from Wanda Petronsky. In the letter, Wanda wished that the girls of room number 13 could keep those 100 dresses. She wished that the drawing of green dress be given to Peggy and of the blue one to Maddie. Maddie went home and watched the drawing intently. Peggy could only say to Maddie, she must have really liked us. Okay students, I hope all of you have understood the lesson, The 100 Dresses Part 2. That's all for now. Thank you all. Have a nice day.